Nick Dwyer back here for the 10th inning, giving you another episode of This Day in Sports History. In yesterday's episode, we saw the great late Kobe Bryant get both of his numbers, number 8 and number 24, retired at Staples Center by the Lakers. We don't have anything quite like that today, but we do have a boxing heavyweight title matchup. We have some NFL championships and a Ballon d'Or to talk about. So if y'all enjoy this video, leave a like on it. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Let's get to it. This Day in Sports History. We will start out with that boxing championship match in 1913, and Jack Johnson would fight Jim Johnson to a draw in 10 rounds to retain the heavyweight title. 1 year later, moved to Major League Baseball in 1914, and Washington Senators manager Clark Griffith would meet with Walter Johnson and convince the star to re-sign for $12,500. 3 years later, we moved to the NHL. We actually have the first pair of NHL games ever played. We had the Montreal Canadiens going up against the Ottawa Senators, and the Canadiens won that game 7-4. We also had the Montreal Wanderers go into Toronto to play the Arenas, and the Wanderers defeated the Arenas 10-9. Moved to the NFL now in 1926, and in the NFL Championship, there was no actual game, but the Frankfurt Yellow Jackets at 14-1-2 would win the title. 1 year later, same kind of situation, no game in the NFL, but the New York Giants at 11-1-1 would end up winning the title. Moved back to the MLB now in 1934, and the New York Yankees would send 5 players to San Francisco as part of the payment for Joe DiMaggio. Back to the NFL now in 1948, at the NFL Championship, the Philadelphia Eagles would shut out the Chicago Cardinals in a snowstorm, the Philly Blizzard, 7-0. Move all the way up now to 1976, kind of in the NFL, kind of not. After a playoff game at Memorial Stadium, which saw the Baltimore Colts lose to the Steelers 40-14, a single-engine plane crashed into the upper deck of the stadium, injuring the pilot and 3 others. Stay in 1976, go to the Davis Cup though, and the team of Italy would defeat Chile 4-1, and this would be their only Davis Cup title. Move up to 1983 now. In the international world of football, and the original FIFA World Cup trophy would be stolen from the headquarters of the Brazilian Football Confederation in Rio de Janeiro, and it would never be found. But 1 year later, we move to the NHL, and we have 2 events. We start out with Wayne Gretzky at age 23 would become the 18th and youngest NHL player to ever score 1,000 career points in his 424th game. Then we have Scotty Bowman, who would win his 691st regular season game, the most wins by any coach in NHL history, passing Dick Irvin, with a Buffalo 6-3 victory over the Blackhawks. We move to the NBA now in 1990, and Boston Celtics Kevin McHale would score 23 points, helping the Celtics defeat Philadelphia 115-105, but McHale would also reach the 15,000 point threshold in this game. Stay in the NBA in 1992, and the Knicks would defeat the Heat 91-87, and it would give coach Pat Riley his 600th career victory, the 12th coach at the time in NBA history to reach that milestone. Over to the Ballon d'Or in 2000, and Real Madrid's midfielder Luis Figo would win the award. 2 years later, go to the MLB, and in a free agency, one of Japan's most heralded players, Hideki Matsui, would reach a preliminary agreement with the Yankees on a 3-year, $21 million contract. Stay in Major League Baseball now in 2010, and the Kansas City Royals would trade pitcher Zach Greinke to the Milwaukee Brewers for Alcides Escobar, Jake Odorizzi, Lorenzo Cain, and Jeremy Jeffries. And we will end today's video off in 2010 in the NFL with the miracle at the Meadowlands 2. The Philadelphia Eagles were going up against the New York Giants, and with 8 minutes to play in the fourth quarter, they were trailing by 21 points. They ended up scoring 4 touchdowns in the final 7 minutes, including a walk-off punt by Deshaun Jackson to win the game for him. That would be the final win for the Eagles that season. So that's what happened on this day in sports history. If I left anything out, I do apologize, but I'll see everybody tomorrow. For Nick Dwyer and the 10th inning.